Hello students, how are you? Hope you are doing well with your course materials in Aptdemy portal, and I hope you are solving the problems. Exercise sheet what we have provided to you, you are working out all the problems. I know many of you are doing because I am getting constant feedback from all of you. Recently, I have come across that I have come to know that many of you could not solve some of the problems of circle worksheet. And I have taken a particular problem. This problem, many of you could not solve. So I thought I should discuss this problem, and I prefer to come live in handling this particular problem so that many people, other students, a greater cross section of students can get some benefit out of this discussion. Okay, so this is the problem. So I found it very interesting and informative if you can solve this. So what is the problem? If the line 3x minus 4y equal to lambda curves the circle x square plus y square minus 4x minus 8y minus 5 equal to 0 in 2 points, then limits of lambda are, this is closed interval minus 35 15, this is open interval minus 35 15, this is another open interval minus 35 10, and it is a semi-closed interval minus 35 15. So before we go into the problem, let us try to understand, recapitulate what this symbol means. So when I say lambda lies in the interval minus 35 15, that means lambda can take a value in the range minus 35 to 15, including minus 35 and 15. That means lambda is greater than equal to minus 35 but less than equal to 15. This symbol is another representation of this inequation. So when this is a closed interval, we say. Now what does this symbol mean? Minus 35 15. This symbol means that these endpoints are not included in the number line. Just consider this number line. This is 0, this is minus 35, and this is 15. So minus 35 to 15, lambda can lie in this interval. And in the first case, lambda can assume a value minus 35 as well as plus 15. So lambda's inequation is like this. The second case, it is a bit different. So it is an open interval. Minus 35 we cannot assume, plus 15 value we cannot assume. Alright. Then third case, it is again same open interval. So here lambda is greater than minus 35 but less than 10. And fourth case is bit different. It is minus 35 50. See the symbol here, it is the symbol, it is a square bracket, it is the first bracket. That means here lambda is more than minus 35 but less than equal to 15. So these are the four situations. So this is one very interesting point to be noted. All right, now let us come straight to the problem. So there is the equation of circle, and there is another equation of, there is the equation of one straight line. Now just imagine what geometrical relationship a straight line and a circle have. Just imagine the situation, you have a circle and you have a straight line. What happens? Either, so it is a circle and this is a straight line. So line, straight line and circle, circle can be external to the, or line can be external to the straight line, line can be intersecting the circle. So this is the circle, this is straight line. So straight line can be outside the circle, straight line can intersect the circle, or the straight line can be a tangent to the circle. there can be three situations. Okay. Now, if the line 3x minus 4y equal to lambda cuts the circle in 2 points, then limits of lambda is unknown. Here all it's a defined definite equation of circle, but it is not a definite equation of straight line because lambda is unknown. So I have to find the range of lambda for which this straight line cuts the circle in 2 points. That means this particular situation. Now see, when a line cuts a circle, if this is the center of the circle, then if I drop a perpendicular from the center on this line, if I call this as d, this distance, then d is definitely less than radius of the circle. Had the line touched the circle at one point, touching means it is touching the circle only at one point. That means the circle is a tangent, the line is a tangent to the circle. So in that case, perpendicular distance d is equal to r. This is the perpendicular distance. From center you drop a perpendicular on the line and that becomes equal to the radius. D is equal to r. And in this case, when the straight line lies outside the circle, then perpendicular distance if you drop from the center on this line, then d is definitely greater than r. So three cases may arise. One is d greater than r, one is d less than r, and one is d equal to r. In our case, what the line cuts the circle. That means in our case, d should be less than radius of the circle. D is the perpendicular distance dropped from the center of the circle on the straight line. So this thing you should keep in mind. Our case is like this. Okay, now let us with this background, let us come straight to the problem. So what is the equation of the circle? X square plus y square minus 4x minus 8y minus 5 equal to 0. So this is definitely the equation of circle. Just compare this with the standard general equation of circle, which is x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. So we have already discussed in our regular classes that x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0 represents a circle provided, just recall, provided not this, does not use the square root, provided g square plus f square minus c is greater than 0. And if it represents a circle, then the center of the circle is minus g minus f. And radius of the circle is, or is the radius of the circle is square root of g square plus f square minus c. If this quantity under square root is negative, then radius becomes imaginary. So this condition is mandatory. This condition has to be satisfied. As soon as this is satisfied, this means radius is a positive real quantity. So we know this. So our given equation is what? Our given equation is x square plus y square minus 4x minus 4x minus 8y minus 5 equal to 0. So what is center? So d, you see, d is minus 2 and f is, compare this with this equation. Compare this equation with this standard equation. So f is minus 4. So center of the circle is minus d minus f. So it is 2, 4. No doubt. And radius r is G square means 2 square plus F square is 4 square minus 4 square, G square plus F square minus C. C is actually how much? Minus 5. So it is plus 5. So it is 4 plus 16, 20 plus 5, 25, square root of 25. So it is 5. So this is the circle whose center is at center at 2, 4 and radius is 5 unit. So up to this it is very simple, there is no doubt. Okay. Now what is the perpendicular distance of the line? If a perpendicular is dropped from the center on the given line, then what is the perpendicular distance? That also we have already told you in your straight line classes, and I am sure you know that we have solved many problems on that. So just let us recall the formula and work out the perpendicular distance for this particular case. What is that? It is, if I call that as D, then D is actually our given line is 3x minus 4y minus lambda is equal to 0. So if I drop a perpendicular from this point on this line, this is a line, this is a point. Point is alpha beta, and equation of the line is ax plus by plus c equal to 0 or k equal to 0. Then what is the perpendicular distance? If we call this d, then we know it is a alpha plus b beta plus a mod of that divided by square root of a square plus b square. You recall that? So what is this in this case? Our case, it is 3 into 2. X is exponent is 2 minus 4 into 4 minus lambda mod of that divided by square root of a square plus b square, that means square root of 3 square plus 4 square. So what is that? So 6 minus 16 mod 6 minus 16 minus lambda divided by 9 plus 16, 25, square root of that is 5. So it is mod 6 minus 16 is minus 10 minus lambda divided by 5. So minus 10 minus lambda is actually, I can take negative out, so it is 10 plus lambda, not 10 plus lambda by 5. No doubt about it, because you know mod of minus x is equal to mod of x. So with this I could write that. So this is the distance. This is the distance, but in the distance expression there is a modulus sign involved, because we do not know what is value of lambda. Lambda, whether it is positive, negative, or whatever. What are the permissible values of lambda? That we have to find out. That is the problem basically. Now, since the line intersects the circle, so this is the line, this is the circle, this is the center. So if I drop a perpendicular, if I call this as D, then D is definitely less than R. So this is the condition. So D is less than R means I just write down the mathematical expression 10 plus lambda mod divided by 5 is less than radius of the circle is 5. So it is 5. So up to this, many of you could solve the problem, but after this, you had difficulties. What I understand after discussion with you. So how do I tackle this equation? How do I tackle? So just let me make space So our ultimate thing is mod n plus lambda divided by 5 is less than 5. So what happens? Now again let us recall this mod sign. Some of you may be uncomfortable with this mod sign. So mod, just let me recall, mod x is x if x is greater than 0, or x is greater than equal to 0, I can write. So mod x is a positive quantity, and mod x is negative x if x is negative itself. So what happens? Mod 10 is 10, but mod minus 10 is how much? Mod minus 10 is minus, here x is minus 10. So since x is less than 0, negative, so it is minus x. So minus 10. Okay. So mod 10 is 10, mod minus 10 is 10. So mod x curve, if you just plot, it looks like, if x and mod x, then mod x curves looks like this. When x is positive, y, if this is mod x is x. If x is negative, mod x is minus x. Okay. Now, if you know or understand this thing, then we can tackle this problem. Here lies the criticality of the problem. So our given condition what we have derived is mod n plus lambda by 5 is less than 5. This is basic geometry, class 10 geometry. The distance should be less than equal to less than radius, not equal to. Had it been equal, then the tangent, the line would have become the tangent to the line. Sorry. In this case, actually d becomes r. So it should be, d should be less than r. Or I can write mod 10 plus lambda should be less than 25. Now, if 10 plus lambda is positive, I do not know 10 plus lambda whether it is a positive number or negative number. It depends on the value of lambda. Say if lambda is minus 11, then 10 plus lambda is minus 1. And if lambda is say 5, then 10 plus lambda is 15, which is positive number. So if 10 plus lambda is positive, then mod 10 plus lambda is actually 10 plus lambda. As per this condition, mod x is x if x is greater than or equal to 0. So if 10 plus lambda is positive, then mod 10 plus lambda is 10 plus lambda. So that means 10 plus lambda is less than 25, or lambda is less than 25 minus 10. That is lambda is less than 15. So lambda's upper bound we have found. Lambda is less than 15. This is the lambda is less than 15. Lambda is less than 15. This is the condition. Now 10 plus lambda, a number, if you are given a number, any number, either the number is positive number or negative number. Okay, so if 10 plus lambda is positive or 0, you can say 10 plus lambda, if this quantity is positive or 0, then we can write like this. And if 10 plus lambda is negative, then if x is negative, then mod x is minus x. So in that case, mod 10 plus lambda is equal to what? Minus 10 plus lambda. Because 10 plus lambda itself is negative. So mod x itself is negative, so mod x is minus x. So it is minus 10 plus lambda. So from this condition I can write minus 10 plus lambda is less than 25, because this is the condition now. This is the condition of the problem. So minus 10 plus lambda is less than 25, or minus lambda is less than 25 plus 10. 25 plus 10. So minus lambda is less than 35. So minus lambda, if it is less than 35, then lambda is greater than minus 35. Okay. So I have got a condition lambda is less than 15 and lambda is greater than minus 35. Is it okay? Minus 10 plus lambda is less than 25. So minus lambda is, add both sides plus 10. So minus 10 plus 10 minus lambda. So minus lambda is less than 25 plus 10. So minus lambda is less than 35. So lambda is greater than minus 35. Because if x is greater than minus 1, or not like this, if x is less than minus 1, then minus x should be greater than plus 1. That you know, it is a basic algebra. So lambda is greater than minus 35. So if you couple both these things, so I can write lambda is greater than minus 35 but less than 15. So what happens? In the number line, it lies in the range minus 35 to 15, but 15 is excluded, minus is excluded. Therefore, this is the range. Because I discussed in the beginning, I hope you have noted, this condition means lambda is greater than minus 35, but less than 15. Okay, so that exactly that thing I have got, lambda is greater than minus 35, but less than 15. So this is the answer. It's the open interval minus 35 to 15. So this is the answer. So many of you had difficulty in handling this part. After this, what to do, you were confused actually. So how to do that? If 10 plus lambda is positive, then what happens? And if 10 plus lambda is negative, then what happens? You have to separately work out. And once you know this trick, then I think you will be able to crack any problem of this sort, similar type of problems. Once you should understand this very carefully. And I understand this is a bit tricky, and once you learn, it is very simple. So I hope you have enjoyed the problem, you have learned something. Thank you. Thank you for watching.